Hello, everyone. Raymond Moore, Kill the Prepper. How's everybody doing? You're watching Coffee with Ray. Good coffee today. So, let's see. Today's Tuesday. Doing good. Life is good. And had some interesting things come about these last couple days. And hey, Heather, how you doing? Come about these last couple days, and it really gave me some pause for thought and come to the realization that there's a lot of people out there that don't understand mental fortitude and or how to develop the mental fortitude. And it's interesting, we read in 1 Peter 1:3, therefore prepare our minds for action and be sober minded. And in today's world, it's hard to really navigate the challenges and all that's going on if we are not really focused on, our faith driven mental fortitude. And this is, if, for some of you guys out there, I'm a Bible believing Christian and everything, but if you don't have that higher power and that higher entity that you connect with, be it the universe or whatever it is that you may want to call it, then developing mental fortitude is very difficult because, when you're mentally tough, you don't focus on trying to control the situation or anything. You lean on your higher power, and then you focus on what needs to be done, versus those who are mentally weak, and they're confronted with all these difficulties and everything, the challenges, they focus on themselves and their circumstances. They fixate on the negative, and then they avoid or even complain about the situation and everything that they're in. And so the very two different mentalities, mindsets, and they produce two very different ways of responding to hardship. And, the mindset of what needs to be done produces clarity, hope, courage, and so forth. That is mental fortitude. Whereas the mindset of how do I feel, it produces a negative, and it produces anxiety, stress, and fear. And like it or not, folks, and I quote this all the time, fear is the mind killer. And when you focus on the negative, it always goes to fear. And fear is what stops creative thought. It stops from doing and coming up with solutions and everything. It basically causes you to put yourself in a negative space or a negative situation where you're trapped. And so this is why, and I love the quote, fear is a mind killer. And for those of you who haven't seen Dune or have ever read Dune, that's where that comes from. But fear is the mind killer, and so you become stuck in and everything when you start focusing on these things. And therefore, if you become stuck in, it creates a pit of despair, and it truly creates and cultivates hopelessness. We give the enemy, when we give access to the enemy, or when we give our access to our lives to the enemy, it's through fear. Whereas if we give God access to our lives and everything, it's through faith. And the two are radically different. One empowers and one causes to fear. And I mean, if you see a situation, through the lens of fear and doubt and frustration and complaining and everything, you'll react to that situation with fear, anger, frustration, and so forth. Whereas if you focus on how do I get it done, how do I find a solution, and if your mind and heart is in a condition of peace and focused on being calm and everything, that is mental fortitude. It provides clarity, it gives you direction, it helps you to strive to be better and everything. And you're focusing then not only on yourself, but you're focusing on the solutions. And that is what creates and helps develop mental fortitude. And so learn to cultivate, faith driven mental fortitude, not emotionally driven fear and hopelessness. And so, and again, I talk a lot about all this mental fortitude stuff and everything. And if you don't have that higher power that you are basically responsible to, be it God, be it whatever, the universe or whatever it is that you may have, my higher power is Lord Jesus Christ, and that is who I serve. And I see this as being a servant warrior. And this quarter I'm working hard on developing more of that servant warrior spirit, that servant warrior attitude, and to be a servant warrior to myself, my family, and my community. And so, you know, but life is good when you are living in a faith-based or faith-driven mental fortitude versus having hopelessness and fear and being on self. So focus on faith-based or faith-driven mental fortitude versus emotionally driven mental fortitude. So one is the good, one is the bad, and things. So we've got Chantel Hale, and folks, I want you guys to do me a favor and reach out and share some love and encouragement to Chantel. Her husband passed away from cancer just the other day. And so I've been working hard at just sharing the love and being an encouragement to her. And so reach out to her, tell her you love her, tell her that she's not alone and that we as a community are here to help her. So, but it's good to see Chantel. It's good to see Heather. Good to see Holly. It's good to see Grinch. So how you doing, buddy? But yeah, develop your mental fortitude through faith. And when you do that, you're able to put the cares of the world on the Lord versus the cares of the world on your shoulders. And when you put your cares of the world on the Lord, or if you have a higher higher power or whatever it is that you may have, when you put your troubles in the world on that, then you're able to think clearly, have hope, have faith, and then be able to achieve great things because you're not worried about the cares of the world. Anyways, you can't control the cares of the world. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, trust the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding, in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. So drop your cares to the world on him, and then that way it allows you to really charge and push forward and do great things. So that's everything, folks. We'll see you. Raymond Moore, Kilter Prepper. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, share, ring that little bell, share this video with others if you can, and let's help get the word out. I want to see more servant warriors in the world. So that's everything. We'll see you. Goodbye. God bless, and Kilt on.